Review Board will come to order for March 22nd, 2022. We have two excused members, Ms. McClellan and Mr. Williams. We also have a quorum. So we may proceed with tonight's agenda. Okay. Did everyone get a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting that were in the package that you received?
Yes, I reviewed them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any corrections or additions?
I'm here.
Dr. Gershow, you have any corrections or additions? Okay.
No, I said none here.
Oh, none here. I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
That's okay.
All right. If there are no edits to the minutes was then approved as distributed. I don't have anything to announce in my report for tonight. So we will proceed with the executive director's report. And also after that, we'll do the case reviews. So I will turn it over to Ms. Pittinger.
Thank you, Dr. Darby. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see everyone. It's especially encouraging as we are perhaps realizing spring will really come this year. We've had 46 complaints since the beginning of the year. And Ms. Gamble actually broke them down for us for just general information, a curiosity that turns into being very valuable. The zones that have produced the most contacts to us, we have 9 complaints coming from zone 2, which is the downtown area, 9 complaints coming out of zone 5, which is out in the east. And we have 8 from both zone 3 and zone 4, and zone 6 sending 6 people to us, and zone 1 with 2. It's an interesting breakdown. I know in years gone by when I've actually looked at that with some critical eye, and zone 5 used to be, believe it or not, the lowest, that we would get fewer complaints out of zone 5 than any of the other zones. And when you look back and you know when that happened, you can correlate that to changes in leadership in that zone. Very interesting. It doesn't mean a whole lot other than it's interesting. And it would intuitively suggest that the leadership does have a lot to do with the satisfaction of the local community in that zone. But here we have zone 1 has only produced 2, which is, they're going through a lot of difficulty in that zone right now. Zone 1 is a very, very dangerous place, and that's relatively recent. I mean, for the intensity of what's happening over there. So with it only generating 2 complaints, it feels good. It feels like the police and the community must be getting along okay. But again, these numbers, they're tempting, but in and of themselves, they don't mean a whole lot. I know that, but it is an interesting look at the zone community relationship. The annual numbers for 21 are being drawn now. Stephanie and Michelle, I believe, have been working on extracting the numbers that we usually provide to you at some point in the spring, and that's related to a breakdown of allegations per complaint, allegations by race and gender, and also the total for the zones, allegations by the zones. So we will have that to you by probably next month's meeting, April. This afternoon, I did send out to all of you draft copies of 2 reports. One, the long-awaited protest after action review that was done between our office with the assistance of the Densest Group. The second report, the TASER briefing update. That's done. I did enlist the assistance of a man named Charles A. Peters Jr. And for some of you who have been around for a while, you may recognize Chuck Peters, was the former and now the late, but he was the former director of the MHMR, Drug and Alcohol, Hunger and Homeless programs in Allegheny County. But more importantly for us, he was an inaugural board member here. So there was some poignancy to asking Chip to help on that project, and he did so. And that is the TASER briefing report that went out today. Now, both of them came to you in draft form. And I have a couple of reasons for that. First, there are still some edits that I need to do to tweak in both of them, mostly though in that protest report, there are links. And there were many more links that could be included, but I was having trouble with the links. So I'm going to take advantage of this draft status to fix those links and to invite each of you to give us some feedback on what you would like added or removed or expounded upon, whatever is not to your liking in that report, that we would be able to get that together and incorporate it in the report. So you have the draft status from now until the April meeting. And in April, if we put it on your agenda, then members can openly discuss it, deliberate on whether you wish to adopt the reports or you want to just issue them publicly with no adoption attached to it, whatever your preference is. But that would require some deliberation on your part, and under Pennsylvania sunshine rules, we must make sure that that deliberation occurs in public. So you receive those drafts. Anything you'd like to do with them, adding, subtracting, looking a different way, whatever it may be, we'll take these next couple of weeks to do that. Send us your comments and your advice and your suggestions. And then by the time we come back together in April, it will be on your agenda. It will be in final format, and we'll be finished with both of those reports. We had scheduled a pre-hearing conference for this evening to precede your regular scheduled meeting. Yesterday, we received a communication from the Subject Officers Council requesting that the case be dismissed. The pre-hearing conference has been postponed until further notice, and this case will come back to you for review again in April, so that it will be on the agenda, and any consideration or deliberations that you may wish to engage in will be done in the public venue. I think that's all I have at the moment. I appreciate, I'm happy to answer any questions, whatever anybody may have.
Okay, are there any questions? Ms. Brown?
I'm not, can you hear me? Okay. I'm not sure if you've covered this or maybe addressed it in correspondence and I missed it. The email that we received from the mayor's office requesting an interview, where is that and what are we supposed to do? Because I haven't responded, so I wanted to know what direction you wanted us to follow.
Yeah, I responded when I was informed of the receipt of that letter, that communication from the mayor's office for each of you. And I did respond that, you know, your status as a board member, and your board is different. It's a unique board in the city. And the request for an interview with the mayor, in that request, it included essentially that there was going to be an assessment as to what your vision and goals for your position, if that would be compatible with the new administration, and whether it would contribute to determining whether your service would continue or not. You are appointed to a term to which you may only be removed for cause by the mayor. And the mayor, that cause has to be approved by 2/3 of council before a member can be removed. for cause only. In 2020, the referendum also extended the protection on you for your service on the board, that you cannot, that what I just said, you can only be removed for just for cause. And that requires the 2/3 vote of council to approve that removal. I did respond and I explained that to the administrative person to whom I responded, and I have not heard back. I did indicate that I believe that was erroneously distributed to members. And in fairness, that was a bad choice of words on my part. I should have just indicated that I believe it was mistakenly sent off to you guys. I think that's a little bit a better tone. But I too was asked, if I wanted to apply for my position, and I work for you. I don't work for the mayor. And that all goes to the essence of your independence. You are appointed to conduct business on behalf of the people of the city of Pittsburgh in an independent oversight role. You're not here to promote anyone's agenda, any administration's political agenda, or any kind of a policy agenda. You sit in your own little space. And if you ever look at an organizational design of the city of Pittsburgh, you'll see we sit over here in the corner with no lines going anywhere because nobody knows what to do with us. Really, it should all be dotted, but you are on an island, and there's good reason for that, so that your objectivity and impartiality is beyond reproach. You're not here on behalf of any mayor or any council member. But I did respond, and I did speak to her, and I followed up though with the note that I believe I did copy everyone on. And if I didn't, I will send it off again, but we haven't heard any more. I did indicate that we were meeting tonight and invited the mayor if he wanted to stop by, we'd send them the link. But of course, we know he's busy in Homewood and unlikely to be popping in here. So you do not have any obligation to respond to that. We responded on your behalf.
Thank you.
Welcome. Madam Chair, I just remembered I wanted to correct something, and maybe Bill can direct me how to do it properly so I don't mess something up in our record. But last month, I did report that OMI did not cooperate with the after action review with Densis.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That was incorrect. And I want to correct my misstatement. OMI was not involved. They had no role in that inquiry, that investigation. And I did not want to leave a record suggesting that somehow they did not cooperate with us. So I just wanted to make that correction on the record.
Okay.
Well, theoretically, the minutes were approved as distributed.
Yeah.
They can be amended and then take a vote.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does someone need to make a motion that it's amended?
And before that happens, Madam Chair, I'll just point out that on the second page of the minutes, which is 3 of 10 of the whole packet, the issue that's before us now is Dr. Lucas Darby asked if OMI was cooperating with the Densis Group.
Right.
And where does that stand? Ms. Pittenger responded that OMI is not cooperating with Densis.
Right.
And the Bureau of Police did not cooperate. So
Right.
Beth, is your amendment just limited to OMI or also to the Bureau of Police?
It was OMI.
My amendment is to OMI.
Right. That's what I thought.
The Bureau of Police did not cooperate.
Okay. So as opposed to the words is not cooperating, I recommend that the substitution be that OMI has been cooperating or was cooperating, whichever is more appropriate.
They weren't included.
They weren't included?
No.
All right.
No, they were not necessary. And we did not approach them for any engagement in that review with the Densis Group, nor did Densis reach out to OMI. And I just wanted, that is not true of the Bureau of Police, but it is true of OMI. So those two, has to be split. And I just wanted to correct the OMI part because I did misspeak.
what words would you use in the minutes on that issue? Ms. Pittenger responded that OMI, was not involved with Densis, or was?
Yep, that would be fine.
Mhm.
That OMI was not involved with the after-action review conducted by Densis. And then the next sentence would continue, that would be that sentence that Dr. Darby, that the
Right.
Pittsburgh Bureau of Police did not cooperate.
Okay.
So
Good.
you should probably have, Madam Chair, a motion to amend the
Amend
minutes
Yes.
consistent with the executive director's comments.
Comments. Okay. And Miss Hampton, can you read that so that we will have it accurately as it should read now?
You want me to rewrite it, you're saying?
Just read it as for the motion, so we will vote on it as we want it to appear in the minutes.
Okay. 1 second. I'm sorry, I didn't have that pulled up.
Well,
The minutes, so
Okay.
I can read it,
okay. Mr. Ward, do you mind reading it back so that it's
Sure.
recorded accurately? Okay.
Thank you,
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
so
Uh-huh.
that sentence at the bottom of page 2 of the minutes should read as follows. Dr. Lucas Darby asked if OMI was cooperating with the Densis group, and where does that stand? Ms. Pittenger responded that OMI was not involved with the after-action review conducted by Densis, and the Bureau of Police did not cooperate.
Okay. All
Is
right.
that accurate, Beth?
Yes, that would be your motion.
Okay. All right. May I have a second for that motion?
Who was the first, Mr. Green?
No, I do need.
Mr. Green. I
Okay,
saw his
Mr.
hand
Green,
go up.
can you? I wasn't sure. Mr. Green, are you making the motion?
I thought I had, but I can do it again.
That's okay. That's okay. Your hand, signals that. Okay, so now may I have a
Okay.
second? Dr. Gershow has seconded. Any questions, any additional questions? All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it, the motion carries. So the correct procedure would be to correct them in the minutes from last month. And the minutes this month will indicate that we made that correction.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I apologize for the inconvenience here. I wanted to make a point of making that correction, and then I forgot.
No, thank
Thanks for
you.
the clarification.
Yes,
Just so I'm clear, go ahead.
okay, go ahead, Mr. Robinson.
I was just thanking Ms. Pittenger.
Okay, absolutely.
And just
Ms.
so,
Hampton. Mhm.
just so I'm clear, do I need to correct the minutes that we're talking about now? Or just add this motion to the minutes we're doing? I will be
My
doing.
understanding from Robert Rules of Order is that when you make a change in the minutes, you go back and correct the minutes that should be corrected, but it's noted in the current
Gotcha.
minutes that that correction was made. That's
Perfect,
my
thank you.
understanding. Mhm. Okay. All right. Ms. Pittenger was mentioning the draft reports a few minutes ago. Now, when we say release the reports, we certainly make them public. Do we also release them to specific entities?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, any other questions about the report? Of the draft reports? If not, well, that's part of the unfinished business that we just took care of in Ms. Pittenger's report. So there's no other unfinished business. Is there any new business? No new business? Okay, we will move to the case reviews. And it's very light for tonight. So we have first, as indicated, the public hearing was not held before this meeting. And we will hear more about that at the April meeting. We have 2 full investigations. They are cases 00122 and case 01822. They're both for full investigations. May I have a motion to hold those cases for, well, to authorize those cases for full investigation? Mr. Green?
Well,
Okay.
Madam Chair, I have a question concerning this case.
Okay.
It's just a small detail, I think.
Is
but,
it 2201?
Yeah.
0122?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. In paragraph 15 of the narrative, it says witness number 1 was not informed about the hearing or the so-called discipline subject officer received. And I just wondered if Ms. Pittinger or anyone on staff can say whether or not that would be typical or normal when we have a case involving, when an officer is the complainant against another officer. Is it typical or normal for the complainant to not, what am I trying to say? To not be aware of the discipline or hearing involving the subject officer? I hope that question was clear.
Who is the identified case investigator, please, Mr. Green? I can't get the,
Oh, that would be Bridget.
yeah. Sherry?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure why she wasn't the witness 1, who is also the victim, wasn't notified of the hearing. I tried to email her, and as far as I know, she has still remained on military leave.
Okay.
So I will try to get in contact with her and the attorney. I'm not sure why she wasn't notified.
Okay, thank you.
Related to that case, I believe there was a report today on that case where there was a petition to convert the temporary restraining order to a permanent restraining order.
Okay.
Any other questions about either 122 or 1822? Okay, if not, may I have a motion to move those to full investigation?
I so move.
Okay, second.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? The ayes have it, the motion carries. We have no extensions, no unsustainable, no unfound, no other, but we do have 2 suspensions. And the request is to suspend them until next month. They are case 22121 and 17721. Are there any questions about either of those cases? And in both cases, more time is needed to make some determinations. If there are no questions, may I have a motion for authorization to suspend until April for those 2 cases?
So moved.
It's been moved and second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? If not, all in favor, aye.
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 Okay. And opposed? The ayes have it, the motion carries. As usual, you have the listing of cases that are continued for suspensions. And we will receive updates as they move from the suspended list. But they're listed in your packet. So those are all of the case reviews that we need to consider tonight. Okay, anything else for the business portion of the meeting? If not, we will meet in April. It's via Zoom again. And are there any individuals who would like public comment? Hi and bye all. Okay, thanks Mark and Trish.
Dr. Darby, I believe, as I recall, March, the board was going to reconsider the Zoom, the remote meetings in March, whether you wanted to continue for the next quarter. Your announcement now that we would remain on Zoom for April, I think is wise because we now have another COVID variant coming through that may or may not have an impact on the community at large. But I just wanted to bring that up if you wanted to do anything more with that, or you want to revisit that again in April.
Could we take it month by month until we have,
Sure.
More assurance of where we are with the new variant?
Absolutely. I just didn't want to not remind you.
Okay, sure. All right, if there's nothing more for tonight's meeting, I will take a motion to adjourn. Dr. Gershow has moved. May I have a second? Mr. Green has seconded. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. So if you don't oppose, that means that you can end the meeting.